Oh, I gotta go to bed, but I can't. Oh, I'm in so much pain right now. Oh, is that you? Are you having trouble getting to bed at the end of the night because you're in so much pain? You can't find a position to relax. You can't find a position to alleviate it. You're suffering. You've got pain in your back. You've got pain in your buttock. You've got that tight achiness. It's going down your leg, shooting down your leg, going into your foot, going down the back of your calf, burning sensation. Watch this video. I'm going to give you my top 3 stretches that I would give to any patient that could be suffering from L5-S1 spinal stenosis and how they can start getting to bed in a restful manner without suffering. So keep watching. 3 stretches. 3 stretches that are chosen for the L5-S1 specifically, and all 3 modified for this evening context. My name is Dr. Ali Shariff. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and my clinic name is Infinite Healing Chiropractic and Wellness Center. I'm located in Oshawa, Ontario. And before we get into the stretches, I'm going to ask you to like this video. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to keep on educating you on more stuff that's out there that's going to help you live a functional and happy, optimal life. Now, why is the L5-S1 evening protocol so important and different than anything else? And why are these stretches so important? The evening management L5-S1 stenosis addresses 3 specific loading realities that distinguish that level that's different from an L4, L5. And that's why it's also different from a general stretching protocol. So the first is the piriformis fatigue pattern. Unlike higher lumbar levels, where the primary evening loading concerns can be the facet joints, the disc, L5-S1 adds the piriformis as a structure that can be impacted. And so every hour of sitting, especially during the day for long periods, keeps your hip in a position that allows the piriformis to maintain a slightly shortened and hypertonic state. The piriformis muscle is located in the buttocks, and the S1 nerve either travels underneath it or, in some cases, through it. It pierces it. So if you think about this, if you've been sitting for periods of time throughout the day or extended sitting, that piriformis muscle can become extremely tight, can become hypertonic. And if you have a tight muscle and there's a nerve flowing through that or underneath that, and that muscle is becoming very tight and rigid and hypertonic, that muscle is going to impact that nerve and that S1 nerve. And that's why it's important to understand that when you have piriformis associated with this, you have a double whammy, because not only is it being impacted at the L5-S1 area, but it's also being impacted at the piriformis area too. Now, the other thing is the cumulative sensitization of the S1 nerve root. The S1 nerve root is a peripheral nerve, and it has been facing a sustained and repetitive compression across a full day. And what happens is when you're working, whether you're living, whether you're sitting, you start to sensitize that nerve root, meaning by that evening, the littlest compression is going to aggravate it. That sensitization is why many L5-S1 patients describe their posterior leg symptoms being worse in the late afternoon and evening. Not because the structure compression has changed, but because the nerve root sensitivity has changed because of the progressive loading throughout the day, the sustained loading throughout the day. And so there's also the evening opportunity. And what I mean by that is that the evening context offers something the morning cannot: tissue warmth and available time. After a full day of activity, that posterior hip musculature, including the piriformis, is warmer, more pliable, and more responsive to stretching than it is in a cold stiffness of the morning. So the deeper stretches in this evening protocol exploit that tissue warmth by extending the hold durations beyond the morning versions, and by going deeper with your positions in the morning could even do for you. And so that's why I'm going to show you an evening protocol that is important. But I'm also going to address too, instead of tell you right now, that I have a morning protocol too that I've done a video on. So as long as you're watching this video and you're seeing this video, don't forget to go back and watch my morning protocol too. And the two of them together have a cumulative approach of helping you if you're suffering from these symptoms. So these 3 stretches are sequenced from the most passive and the most immediate relieving to the deepest and most therapeutic. So I'm going to get you to watch carefully because the evening versions have a specific difference from the morning versions that I've talked about in my previous videos in this series for when it comes to stenosis. So the first evening stretch for L5-S1 is the hip drop crossover, the same movement that appears in my third morning stretch, but this time it's your first evening stretch. And so that's what's going to make this different, but also how we do it. And so you're going to be lying on your back. You're going to draw the knee towards your chest. Then you're going to allow it to drop across the body towards the opposite shoulder. And you're going to, in the morning version, I ask you to hold this for 30 seconds. But there is a difference here. Today, we're going to hold it now for the evening for 45 seconds. The quality of the hold is different and has a different impact than the morning does too. You let the full weight of the leg soften into the crossover position. Do not pull the knee. Let gravity do its effect. With each exhale, feel that outer hip and feel that deep buttock releasing progressively. Not forced, just yielding. And the piriformis, which has been in that compressive state and also contraction and fatiguing, now starts to warm and become more pliable. It responds to passive, a sustained hold, which is so important and sometimes can't be done in the morning. That's why you hold this for longer, for 45 seconds to get that in the evening. And importantly, switch sides. Especially if you find one side more symptomatic than the other, both sides are always affected. I always say to other patients, even if you see an asymmetry, I'm getting all my pain down one leg, you have to understand the other leg could also be compensating too. And the last thing you need is to work on one side and find the other side now starting to break down. Always do it both sides. Now, watch while I show you this video on how to do that stretch. Basically, you do this while you're on the mattress, getting up from sleep in the morning. You can do this on the floor. You want to bring your knee to your chest. Now, your hands are going to be grasping just below the knee. And then when you do this, you now want to bring that knee to the opposite shoulder. And you're not going to force it. You're just going to allow gravity to do its effect. And as you're breathing in and out, you will feel, first and foremost, that knee get closer to the chest. You will also feel that stretch through that pelvis area. And this is a great stretch to do. And obviously do this stretch both sides. Now, the second stretch is child's pose, but a little bit different. It has a foot position modification that is different than a regular standard version child pose. And this subtle change has a meaningful clinical effect. So you're going to start on all fours. And before sitting back, I want you to turn your feet inward. So the toes point toward each other. A slight internal rotation, not a huge, just slight. Then, sit your hips back towards your heels and then go into the child's pose position. Forehead on the mat, arms extended forward. And this clinical mechanism of toeing in is extremely important because when the feet are turned in before sitting back into child's pose, there's internal rotation of the lower leg, and that produces a slight change in pelvic position. A posterior pelvic tilt that shifts the decompressive emphasis of the stretch from a mid-lumbar region towards the lumbar and sacral regions. So that's the L5-S1 junction that we're talking about, what that toe-in allows you to do. And here's the other game changer of this too. Instead of holding this for like, let's say 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I'm going to get you to hold this for anywhere between 60 to 90 seconds. This is the single longest hold of an L5-S1 evening protocol. And because the toe-in achieves the most meaningful passive decompression of the L5-S1 level, I want you to hold this for an extended period of time. But again, do it up to your comfort zone. If you can't do it that far, then that's okay. Each evening, you will work towards getting it further. All right, so today we're going to show you the child's pose position, but with a variation, and that is the toe-in position. Reason why you're doing this is that it's going to affect the L5-S1 area and the sacrum area. So people who have this type of issue in this area, this is a great stretch to do. Now, the different variation on this is that first and foremost, if you're doing this position and if you have knee issues, feel free to use a pillow, put that underneath your knees. Now, when you're in this position, first thing you want to do is you want to bring your toes in. And you'll see the toes are now pointed inward. Now, once you've done that, hips go back, hands go forward, head drops, and you have that nice child's pose position, that nice stretch. Now, with this modified child's pose position, what we're going to be doing is that it's targeting the L5-S1 area. And how we target it is that before you even start the position, you're going to bring your toes inward. And you can see those toes pointing inward. Now those toes are pointing inward. You now bring the hips back, bring your hands forward, and drop your head. And this gives you the nice stretch and affects the L5-S1 sacrum area. Now the third and final stretch of this evening L5-S1 protocol is returning back to that figure 4, the fundamental foundational stretch of this whole L5-S1 program, but in a deeper, more meaningful and therapeutic form. So you can do this while you're sitting or standing, and I will show you both ways. Now, the one thing I will say is that when you're doing it in a standing position, you get a deeper stretch. But for somebody who has mobility issues, for somebody who is on a walker and stuff, for somebody like a senior and stuff, any type of issues like this, I would not recommend doing the standing. I would recommend doing the sitting. It's safer. So majority of the time, I recommend to patients in general the sitting, just because it's a safer methodology to do that than go into standing, even though standing can be deeper. But today, I will explain and show you both. So you do what's in your comfort zone, but always make sure you're reviewing any stretches that I give you with your healthcare practitioner, because you want to always review that with them. Now, watch this video where I discuss how to do the figure 4 stretch while you're sitting. Today I'm going to show you a fantastic stretch that you can do, which helps to relieve the piriformis muscle tension. If your piriformis muscle is hypertonic, if that S1 nerve is being irritated by that muscle. And it's the seated figure 4 piriformis stretch. And Sarah here is going to demonstrate this for us. So basically for this stretch, what you're going to do is you're going to take your knee, your ankle, you're going to put it above your knee, not on top of the knee, and you're going to be sitting straight. And you want to, if you're in a chair, you want to be in a straight back chair. You can do this while you're working at a desk job. You can do this in the morning when you get up, right when you're sitting on the mattress and stuff, on the edge of the mattress. And basically, you want to have your hand on your knee, and your whole motion is going to be at your hips. You're going to lean forward at your hips. At the same time, you're going to put a gentle pressure on your knee down, and you're going to feel that stretch in that piriformis muscle. And this is a fantastic stretch to do. Now I'm going to show you how to do the figure 4 stretch while you're standing. Stretch I'm going to show you here today is the standing figure 4 piriformis stretch. Now, when I ask anybody to do this, it's a deeper stretch than the seated version. But if you have mobility issues, if you have balance issues, if you have any type of dizziness, vertigo, if you have trouble with your knees, arthritic knees, I would not recommend this being done standing. It's going to be very unstable for you. I would recommend doing it seated. Even though the standing one is a deeper stretch, seated is going to be safer. Now let's move forward and show you how to do this. So with this stretch, you don't want to be leaning against the wall, but you do want to use the wall as a little bit of support. Basically, you're going to take your ankle and you're going to bring it above the opposite knee. You're going to bend that knee out a little bit. And while you're grasping the ankle, your other foot is going to be on, so your other hand, sorry, is going to be on the knee. And all the motion is at your hips. So you want to keep your back straight. You're leaning forward at the hips, and you're putting a gentle distraction on that knee, nothing too vigorous, and you're going to feel that stretch along the piriformis muscle. And this is a fantastic stretch to do for people that have piriformis issues, L5-S1 issues, S1 nerve root irritation. Now, when you're doing this stretch, I want you to hold it for 45 seconds on each side. This is the last therapeutic movement for the day for your L5-S1 level. The piriformis that you go into when you're sleeping is lengthened now. And that is important because when you lengthen that out, that helps you start the morning with the least amount of overnight tightening. And this is how you close the day for an L5-S1 level. The S1 nerve root sensitization that you clear tonight is going to be the baseline for where you start tomorrow's loading accumulation. But here is what you need to also follow through too, is as I talked about earlier, my morning protocol. Now, my morning protocol is a separate video. So I would encourage you that as you're watching this video, that you then, after you finish, go to my morning protocol and watch that video and use both of these stretching protocols as part of your morning and evening routine. One thing to understand is what the framework manages around is a structural reality of the L5-S1 level, the degree of foraminal narrowing on your MRI that is stated, the arthritic changes at the L5-S1 level, the disc degeneration if it's existing, the disc height loss, any type of facet joint irritation due to arthritic wear and tear is still going to be there. And here is the one thing I got to tell you is that stretching itself is not going to take care of it all. Not going to take care of all of it. It's only going to help for a portion of it. Because the other thing you need to also follow through with is also therapy. Therapy is important too. And I tell clients, sometimes I hear from people saying, well, I'll do my stretches and that should take care of it. It will only help it, but it won't take care of it. You also need to get therapy. The combination together have the greatest impact. Anyone who comes in to see us at Infinite Healing Chiropractic and Wellness Center, we do a history, a physical assessment, x-rays, spinal scans. We're looking at their MRIs too, and we're building a baseline of where we're starting from. And yes, we talk about the stretches. We discuss the stretches that they need to do, and we'll modify those stretches according to what they need. But we also talk about the chiropractic care, because the unloading that we take off of that spine by putting those joints back into alignment and taking the pressure off of those nerves makes a great improvement, helps with that person and helps further that improvement as they're doing the stretches. It's a cumulative effect of the combined approach between both methods, the therapy as well as the stretches, that help get a person better. And it only makes sense because if you think about it, if stretches itself did it, then when a patient came to see me or comes to see me, I would just show them the stretches. I say, there you go, you're done. No need to come in for therapy. But all patients get therapy with their stretches. You can't do one without the other. You need to do both. And that's important to understand. So tonight, before you sleep, hip drop, crossover, 45 seconds, each side, passive. Let the body weight, gravity, do its effect. Child's pose, toe in, 60 to 90 seconds. Figure 4, standing or sitting, 45 seconds on each side. One of the deepest piriformis stretches you're going to give yourself before you go to bed. And then tomorrow morning, follow my morning protocol. And that way you are ready for your day. This is going to be a game changer by doing the morning and the evening stretches and combining them together. And don't forget to do your therapy. My name is Dr. Ali Shariff. I'm a local chiropractor at Oshawa in Oshawa, Ontario. My clinic name is Infinite Healing Chiropractic and Wellness Center. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to keep on churning your life around and helping you get better. Looking forward to seeing you in my next video.